I thought my life with Clara was perfect. We met in college, a classic campus romance story. I was the shy guy in the back of the lecture hall, and she was the vibrant, outgoing girl who wasn't afraid to speak her mind. She pulled me out of my shell, and for that, I would have given her the world. Got married right after graduation, and for 10 years I believed I was the luckiest man alive. I worked hard, climbing the corporate ladder to give her the life she deserved. I built our dream house, paid for her expensive hobbies, and cherished every moment we spent together. I loved her blindly, completely, without a single doubt. That was my first mistake. The signs were there. I just refused to see them. It started subtly. She began staying out late for work dinners, something her marketing job never required before. Then there were the constant phone calls she'd take in another room, her voice dropping to a whisper. When I'd ask who it was, she'd wave it off with a casual, "Oh, just a colleague," or "my mom." I believed her. Why wouldn't I? This was Clara, my Clara. The texts at all hours of the night were explained away as group chats with her girlfriends. She became more distant, emotionally and physically. Our conversations grew shorter, and she'd often seem distracted. Her eyes glued to her phone, a small secret smile playing on her lips. I told myself she was just stressed from work. I told myself I was being paranoid. I tried to be a better husband, surprising her with flowers, planning weekend getaways. Anything to bring back the spark I felt was fading. But it was like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. The more I gave, the emptier it seemed. The truth came crashing down on a Tuesday. It was our 10th anniversary. I'd taken the day off work to surprise her. I bought a ridiculously expensive diamond necklace she'd been eyeing for months, booked a table at the fancy restaurant where I first proposed, and filled the house with her favorite lilies. I texted her in the morning, a sweet message about how excited I was to celebrate with her. She replied with a simple, "You too, love." "Stuck in meetings all day? See you tonight?" I waited all day, my excitement slowly turning into a knot of anxiety in my stomach. She was supposed to be home by 6. 6 o'clock came and went, then 7, then 8. I called her phone, and it went straight to voicemail. Again and again. Panic started to set in. Was she okay? Was she in an accident? My mind was racing with horrible possibilities. I called her office, but the security guard said everyone had left hours ago. I called her friends, and they hadn't heard from her. It was around 9:30 when her best friend, Sarah, called me back. She sounded hesitant. "Mark," she said, "I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but are you at home?" I told her I was. She sighed heavily. "Clara isn't at a work meeting. She's been seeing someone. His name's Alex. He's her boss." The world stopped. The air left my lungs. The lilies on the table suddenly seemed to mock me with their beauty. Sarah continued, her voice filled with pity. "She's with him right now. She told me they were going to a hotel downtown to celebrate. Something. I'm so sorry, Mark." I don't remember much of what happened next. It was a blur of rage and heartbreak. I think I thanked Sarah and hung up. I looked at the necklace box on the table, the extravagant dinner reservation confirmation. The whole perfect evening I had planned. It was all a lie. Our whole life, our 10 years together, felt like a lie. I drove. I don't know where I was going, but I ended up downtown. My hands were gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles were white, and then I saw them, standing outside a 5-star hotel, laughing. Clara was looking up at him, a man I'd met once at a company party, with the same adoring eyes she used to look at me with. He leaned in and kissed her, and she wrapped her arms around his neck. That was it. The final, undeniable proof. The shocking truth that shattered my world into a million pieces. I drove home in a daze. The beautiful house I built for us felt cold and empty, like a museum of a dead marriage. When Clara finally walked in around midnight, humming to herself, she stopped short when she saw me sitting in the dark. The happy look on her face vanished, replaced by a flicker of panic. "Mark, you scared me. Why are you sitting in the dark?" I didn't say anything. I just stood up and placed the diamond necklace box on the table in front of her. Her eyes widened. Then she saw the look on my face. The game was over. There was no more hiding, no more lies. "How could you?" I finally whispered, the words barely audible. "On our anniversary, Clara, our 10th anniversary. She had the audacity to look guilty, to start crying and saying it was a mistake, that it meant nothing. But I had seen her face. I had seen her with him. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice she'd been making for months. That night was the end of us. Couldn't look at her without seeing her in another man's arms. The love I felt, that all-consuming blind love, had turned into something bitter and cold. We went through the motions of a divorce. It was ugly and painful. She tried to fight for the house, for money, claiming she deserved it for her 10 years of sacrifice. The irony was almost laughable. I learned that Alex, her boss, was also married. His wife found out around the same time I did. Their affair blew up both of our lives, leaving a trail of destruction. Clara ended up with nothing. Alex went back to his wife, and Clara was left alone, having burned every bridge she had. It's been 2 years now. Healing is not a straight line. There are good days and bad days. Some days, the memories hit me like a tidal wave, and the phantom pain of that betrayal aches in my chest. But most days, I'm okay. I sold the house, that monument to our lies, and moved into a smaller place downtown. I started focusing on myself, hitting the gym, picking up old hobbies I'd let go of, and reconnecting with friends who had been there for me through it all. I learned a hard lesson about blind love. Love shouldn't be blind. It should be built on trust, respect, and honesty. When those things are gone, love can't survive. My marriage was destroyed by a shocking truth, but in a way that truth also set me free. Free from a life that was a beautiful lie, and free to build a new one based on reality, however painful it might be. I don't know if I'll ever trust someone that completely again, but I'm learning to trust myself. And for now, that's enough. Thank you for listening to my story. If you're going through something similar, remember, you are not alone, and you have the strength to get through it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.